We back. We had a few minutes of technical difficulties, family. We'll get back into this class. We had just came from Romans 8:28 and 29. Predestinated, Israel being predestinated. This is what planned prophecy is about. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 8. For brothers and sisters back online, sorry about the it jump back out?
Nah, it jumped on as soon as I hit.
Oh yeah. Well, that's crazy, ain't it?
I mean, it's on. Well, get it right real quick. I wasn't stay on that.
For real, we'll just keep it going, man.
All right.
So we just came, like I said, from Romans 8 and 28, 29 about the children of Israel being predestined, for which he foreknew, right? He predestined us. That's planned prophecy within itself. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 3 and we'll start at verse 8.
This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
Finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another.
So we got to be with prophecy, man. We can't all be, some people come, let's go out here and have a black militia set up, and let's go out here and start our own war, right? And doing things our own way. We can't do that. We got to be of one mind, right? We all got to have the same mind and be in order with the will of the Most High God, right? Read.
Love his brethren, be pitiful, be courteous.
Read on.
Not rendering evil for evil.
Because it's not our fight, man. We can't render evil for evil, man, because this is not our fight. The prophecy that's already planned, it doesn't include us fighting, right? We will have something to do with it in the later end, right? Like I said, Ezekiel 25 and 14. But that is what the Most High God said in who? Hamashiach Yahawashai, man, right? So this planned prophecy that we have, it's not rendering evil for evil. We can't go within our own thoughts and our own feelings and think that we can do this thing our own selves, right? Read.
Or railing for railing. But contrariwise.
But what?
But contrariwise.
But contrariwise, read.
Blessing, knowing that you are thereunto called, that ye should inherit a blessing.
So we are in fact, like we said in Romans 28 and 29, we have been called. We were predestinated, right? We were already called to be these children, right? These people. So we got to make sure that we stay in line to receive the blessings, to receive the proper prophecy, and to be in the end game with having salvation, right? Eternal rest, eternal salvation. Let's go to Deuteronomy 32 and 35. Sorry for the little sisters. We'll try to get through this. I know it's a little late. Make it work though.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 35.
Bring it out.
To me belongeth vengeance.
Now to the children of Israel.
To me belongeth vengeance.
Now to one individual himself.
To me belongeth vengeance.
Now to that brother.
To me belongeth vengeance.
To the Most High God belongeth vengeance. It's his vengeance. It's his planned attack for the children of Israel. We are just happy to be what? On that end of what? Being redeemed by the Most High God. But it's his vengeance. It's his war, right? It's his fight. Read.
And recompense.
And it's his recompense, right? Because the Lord is going to recompense the children of Israel. Let the Lord recompense. Don't go outside of the box. Stay within the promise. The Lord wants to recompense you. But you have to stay grounded in this thing, man. So the get back is planned prophecy only if you allow the get back to be prophecy, right? Only if you allow the Most High God to be that vengeance and to have their recompense. Read.
Their foot shall slide in due time.
They foot go slide in due time. Like the children, the youngsters say, we're going to slide on them. The Lord is going to slide on these heathens, man. In due time. We talking about some sliding, man.
So you're going to catch them sleeping.
I'm talking about on some on some escapades, some children, big black hole slide, man, going down, jumping in the, it's gonna be some slide, man. Right? Read.
For the day of their calamity is at hand,
And
the things that shall come upon them make haste.
the Lord said he's gonna in fact make haste. See, y'all don't understand. We think it's going slow, but the Lord in fact is speeding up the time. And we see that. You get out of Monday in the Sabbath. Monday night in the Sabbath. You be like, where the hell did Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? Because that's how the Lord is speeding this thing up, man. For us. Because if we were to stay relishing in this land of captivity, you know, sin is what? Multiplying, man.
That's right.
Man, shoot, it wouldn't be, I don't know if it'll be none of us left, man. As much as sin is on the rise. You got something? Go ahead, read on.
Verse 36. For the Lord shall judge his people and repent himself for his servants.
Read.
When he seeth that their power is gone, and that there is none shut up or left.
So the Lord is going to have to repent for his people, the give back that he's going to give, man. Right? But we got to make sure that we stay inside prophecy, man. This is heavy, man. We got to stay within the prophecy. That's why we got to read our Bibles. That's why we got to study. And we got to understand exactly where prophecies are coming, man, right? Let's go to Matthew 26. Because Christ could have went outside of this thing. No, Christ don't have his own will, man. He could have went outside of prophecy, but it wouldn't have been prophecy. It wouldn't have been the planned prophecy that the Most High God gave him, man. 26 and 47.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 26 and verse 47.
Bring it out.
And while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude, with swords and staves, from the chief priests and elders of the people.
Read.
Now he that betrayed him gave him them a sign, saying, whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Hold him fast.
Read on.
And forthwith he came to Yahushua and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him. And Yahushua said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? Then came they and laid hold on Yahushua and took him.
Read on.
And behold, one of them which were with Yahushua stretched out his hand and drew his sword and stuck a servant in the high priest and smote off his ear.
So they came and tried to take our king, man. And who was that one that struck this servant, man? That was Peter, right? Took his knife out, hit him. He was so precise with it, hit him on the ear, man. I don't know if anybody, as our forefather was carrying, and slice off an ear, man. I'm telling you, man, they're going to be mad at me because I've been like, we told you to hit the ear, not the whole head. I'm like, sorry. I couldn't. I ain't precise like Peter, right?
Who was the soldier whose ear was cut off? Any brother know that?
It's a good question.
But it's got to be lining them precepts up, man. Y'all not putting the work in, man. Malchus.
Because. So, Christ told Peter to put his sword up, right? Let's read verse 52.
Verse 52. Then Yahushua said unto him, Put up again thy sword into his place.
Read.
For all that take the sword shall perish with the sword.
You see that? That's because it's outside of the order.
That's right.
If you want to recompense evil for evil, it's not your vengeance in the first place. You go perish with that same sword that you think you're going to do some work with, right? Read on.
Verse 53. Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? Christ
said, I could have went outside of the order, but that's not what the will was. That wasn't planned prophecy. It wasn't planned prophecy for me to get back at them right now. Hell, I could have killed all they butts, man. I wouldn't even have to go and sacrifice myself for the children of Israel if I had the power to do it. Read on.
Verse 54. But how then shall the scripture be fulfilled?
Read that again.
But how then shall the scripture be fulfilled?
If we don't let this prophecy play out, how can the scriptures be fulfilled, Israel? You better make sure that you are in line with prophecies in this Bible, man. And that you line up with them. That you get your butt in order. And that you understand exactly what prophecies are coming so that you can know how and when to move, right? Because Christ said it. He said, if I would have went outside of that, if I would have called my father, he gave me 12 leaders to get on their butt, it wouldn't have been playing prophecy. I could have did that. We know Christ had power, man, to do that, man. He could have called his father and immediately got them angels on their butts, man. So we got to make sure that we fall in line with praying, with prophecy. Read that again. 54.
Verse 54. But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled? That thus it must be.
This is what must be, man. It must be, right? Go to that John 5.
Remember, the scriptures cannot be broken.
They cannot be broken, man. That's why we got to make sure that we line up with the prophecy, man. John 5. What was that? I think you just said. Yep.
This is the book of John, chapter 5 and verse 30.
Bring it up.
I can of mine own self do nothing.
Read on.
As I hear, I judge. And my judgment is just.
Christ said, my judgment is just. Why? Because he received it from the Father. Read.
That's right. Because I seek not mine own will.
If Christ is in order with prophecy, what the hell we think we got to be? How do you think you can go outside of the prophecy and Christ didn't even go outside of it, man?
That's right.
These things that we got to make sure that we think about, man. Read on.
Because I seek not mine own will, but the will of the Father which had sent me.
But the will of the Father which had sent me. You see that? Christ didn't go outside that thing, man. We can't go outside of it, man. What you want? Let's get it.
This is the book of John, chapter 4 and verse 34. Yahweh shall said unto them,
What do you say?
my meat is to do the will of him that sent me.
So guess what? He said, my meat going into my purpose is to do the will of him that sent me. Read.
And to finish his work.
Don't let to finish my own work.
And to finish his work.
No, Christ said his job is to finish his work, meaning the Most High work. I'm gonna work until it's complete. Right? This is what Christ said plainly. Go ahead.
They cut on that, man. Showing you that Christ is indeed in order, man. That Christ himself is playing the role of the prophecy, man, the playing prophecy, man. We have to do that, Israel. Go to Sirach chapter 3, verse 26.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 3 and verse 26. A stubborn heart shall fare evil at the last.
A lot of people are stubborn, though, man. It's a lot of stubborn people in our nation, man. We just read that in the beginning of the class, man. We seen how stubborn our forefathers were, man. A stubborn heart, man, shall be laden with sorrows, man. Don't continue to try to do things on your own will, on your own time. It will not work. It will not line up. Read.
And he that loveth danger shall perish therein.
And if you love danger, let's go kill it. Yeah, well, you go perish in that danger.
That's right.
We just read that, right? That's what you gonna get, man.
And that's going into you self-will, brothers and sisters, man. You will by yourself and not will by the Most High. Like I say, brothers and sisters, it's a difference between taking the initiative and totally just trying to put everything on yourself. We got to be willed by the Most High.
That's right. Read on.
Verse 27, an abstinent heart shall be laden with sorrow.
Obstinate heart, man. You want to continue to go against the prophecy, against the order of the Most High God? Well, that's what you're going to get, man. You cannot be with, that's why the Bible tells us to be on one accord, man. We all can't be in here and 35 of us want to do right, but then we got 5 of them that want to go and do the wrong thing. It won't work, man. It says an obstinate heart shall be laden with sorrow, man. It's going to end up being sorrowful for you, right? It's not going to end up being well like the Most High God has in Ezekiel 38, like we're going to go to. Read.
And the wicked man shall heap sin upon sin.
And that's what you're going to eventually bring. You want to stay obstinate, you want to stay opposite of what the Most High God gives you, you don't want to follow in the prophecy, then it's going to bring sin upon sin, man. Because you're already sinning, going out of order. Now you're going to bring on more sin, man. Right? You're going to bring up a battle that you don't even got to touch. Right? We be out here fighting battles that we don't even got to touch. Why you fighting with that brother? Why you fighting with that sister? You don't got to touch that battle. That's an extra battle. The only battle you got to fight is who? Your damn self. You make sure you kill that old nigga. You make sure you kill that old nigga woman.
Right.
Like Brad Kite say, nigga woman, nigga man. That's the only battle you got to fight. Why you trying to fight other battles, man? We don't even understand that, y'all. I'm gonna go at this sister today. She got the right one today. Looked at my wrist, I got time today for her ass. Wish she would come here and say one thing wrong. Oh yeah, this brother don't want to brew me up. I'm gonna think evil upon this brother. I'm gonna think he don't give a damn about me, and that is not according to the scripture.
And that's not a righteous judgment. That's not. That's self-will. So guess what? So when you get a self-afflicting wound put on you,
That's not where it came from.
No, it's you. You the one that did it to yourself.
That's right. Because that ain't the battle that you have to fight, man. Right? Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 38. Let's touch on this real quick, man. This is the prophecy that is occurring right now as we speak, man. I know I see a lot of, it's Israel, man. A lot of people think that this prophecy is going to be after the 1,000-year reign, after Christ comes, put the world in submission, put the heathen in submission. But, we see it as coming, being World War III, basically, coming into Armageddon. But this is going to be the judgment, man. You got to line up with this prophecy right here. That's why we got to get these things right. Because this is heavy prophecy in Ezekiel 38, man. We got to know what's going on. Right? Read this out.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, and verse 1. Son of man, set thy face against God, the land of Magog, the chief priest of Meshech, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him.
Now, who is Gog and Magog?
Russia.
It's going into Russia, right?
That's right.
Because
Who is God? God is the leader of Magog. So who will be the leader of Magog today? Who? Brother, when you look that up, it's literally showing you the leader of Magog. That's what God means. So it's not to say that it's Putin right now, but it's not to say it may not be him in the future.
That's right.
Read
verse 2 again.
Verse 2. Son of man. It's a lot. You wanted me to start at verse 1.
You read
the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, verse 2. Son of man, set thy face against God, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him.
It said and prophesy against him, man. I did pull that precept. Read verse 3.
Verse 3. And say, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaw. And I will bring thee forth, and all thy army, horses and horsemen, and all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords.
So we see this is judgment going against Gog and Magog. We know this is going into around Asia Minor around that time, now going into Russia, right? And its allies, right? Read on.
Verse 5. Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, with them, all of them with the shield and helmet.
So it said all of them around them. If you understand, around where Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, where is that at? Anybody know? In landmass? Africa where? Huh? It's the east? It's on the East Coast. It's right under. And we're going into this whole landmass right now. This is what this judgment is going into. Israel is really in the center and surrounded by all of these nations that we're talking about. Right? If you have an understanding of history and the map of a sense, Israel is in the middle, in the midst of all of these surrounding nations. Right?
Think about it. Even Persia. Persia makes reference to what country today?
Because
Do any brother know? The modern day Persians today are who? Y'all should know this. Who said it? Iranians. Don't we see Iran and Russia linking up? We see these things in prophecy, man.
That's right.
I said that's why brothers have to understand this. That's why all praise that Ak is going over this. Go ahead, Ak.
Because, so verse 5, Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, with all of them. That's what it told you in verse 4. It said all of them clothed with swords of armor, even a great company. This is a great company that they're going to have with them, man, right? And it's giving you some of these nations. Read verse 5, verse 6.
Verse 6, Gomer.
Gomer, who is Gomer?
Germany.
Who is Gomer?
Oh, Gomer.
Y'all should have this wrote down. Where do Gomer come from out of Ham, Shem, and Japheth? We should have this.
For real. You guessing? Guess. The easy way, just go back to the lineage. All y'all have to do. But it's not up on their swizzles. When Ak is giving y'all a hint, he literally gave y'all a hint. Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So what should a brother do? Go back to where Ham and Shem and Japheth is. Go down that lineage real quick like. So where would they be at? Where's Ham, Shem, and Japheth located?
They come up on a ham. It's like modern day Turkey.
No, that ain't what I asked. I said, where is Shem, Ham, and Japheth located in the scriptures?
Genesis 10:3. He said Japheth.
That's where brothers should be
There you
going back to.
Let's go to Genesis chapter 10, man. Let's start at verse 2. All praises, all right.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 10 and verse 2.
Uh-huh.
The sons of Japheth.
The sons of Japheth.
Gomer.
Who?
Gomer.
Gomer and who?
Magog.
And Magog. So we see these are the children of Japheth that we're going into right now, right? Read.
And Madai.
Uh-huh.
And Javan.
Read.
Tubal.
Uh-huh.
And Meshach. And Terah.
Now, we just read about those in verse 2, right? These are all sons of Japheth that we're talking about. Read on.
Verse 3. And the sons of Gomer.
Now, who we going with Gomer too? The sons of Gomer, who?
Ashkenaz.
Ashkenaz. That's what we should have. That's why I know y'all should have that wrote down, man.
That's right.
Ashkenaz. Who else?
Rapah. And Togarmah.
Uh-huh. So Ashkenaz. So who is Gomer? Who is part of Gomer?
Ashkenaz Jews.
The Ashkenaz dude, Benaniyah, right? The Armenians. This is Gomer going into Japheth. You got something?
Y'all see the words. When we go back to Ezekiel chapter 8, some of these words don't start popping back out.
Right.
Right? So you see Gomer, you see Tamar, right? These words gonna be popping out when we go back to Ezekiel chapter 38. Go ahead.
Come, read them.
Real quick, even in this, and this is heavy what Ak is going over. What is the understanding? Japheth, these nations, we always go over this history. I want to make sure that brothers understand this. So, what is the understanding when we bringing this out? For what?
Showing who the list of.
Brothers don't take good notes. Just don't. Say it again. I can't hear y'all. Come up.
I say why.
Remember, Japheth ruled Europe, but then who came and took it over? Esau came and took it over and became them. Do y'all understand? That's why they call themselves Ashkenazis today.
That's right.
Because they took them over like how Esau do with everybody. They took over Japheth and became them. Do brothers understand that if you don't raise your hand, don't be scared. So Japhet was given Europe. They was given that land. But during what we have the Greek Dark Ages, when Esau came into power, he took over Japhet, conquered them, and took their nationality. Do you understand that? So he became them. Go ahead, Oscar.
Big con on that, man.
It makes more sense because they take everybody. What's your nationality?
That's right.
Why do you think the words British, Irish? You gotta think. Why is all the issues at the end? Right? Go ahead.
Big con on that. So we see Gomer going into an Ashkenazi, the fake Jews, the yarmulke slaps. Japhet, right? Armenians. But we got to understand who these people are in the Bible. Guess what? These historians, they know this.
That's right.
You know, they done really studied all these names and see exactly who they are today. All you got to do is go to Google. It'll show you exactly who these people are, who they were in the Bible, their landmass, where they were, and who they are today, man. Read 6 again.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 10 and verse 6.
No, Ezekiel.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 38 and verse 6. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah, and the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee.
And many people with thee, man, right? Read on.
Verse 7. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself.
And this is what the Bible is telling us. Be prepared, and prepare yourself. Because, bless, these things are going on and occurring right now, man. Right? Read on.
And all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
So the Bible tells us to understand the company that is accompanied with them, understand who their allies is and who everybody is that's going to be playing a part in this war right here, right? Read.
Verse 8. After many days thou shalt be visited in the latter year.
Now, we talk about Israel. Now, we're talking about Israel being besieged, right? Our land being besieged. Before that,
You got the Greek captivity.
the Babylonian captivity, right? This is around 605, man. Read on. But it said in the latter days, right? That's why you know it. This I'm just giving you that just to show you that you know it's not around the time that we had our land taken. One of the first times. Read.
Verse 8. After many days thou shalt be visited in the latter years. Thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword.
That is brought back from the sword, man. Because this is going into what the Babylonians, because we were brought back from the sword. Remember, the Babylonians took over, but then the Lord did what?
So we built a temple.
He put the sword with, and the Persians immediately took it, right? It's just a lot of history going into that. Matter of fact, let's go to Jeremiah 25. And we'll start at verse 8. This is going into the first time that Israel was seized, man. One of the heavy times that we were seized by Nebuchadnezzar.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 25 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
Behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, saith the Lord, and Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and I will bring them against this land, and against the inhabitants thereof, and against all these nations round about. And I will utterly destroy them, and make them an astonishment, and a hissing, and a perpetual desolation.
Read on.
Verse 10, moreover, I would take them from the voice of mirth. So like I would take from them the voice of mirth, and the voice of gladness, and the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride, the sound of the millstones, and the light of the candle.
Verse 11.
And this whole land shall be a desolation.
And this whole land, the land of what?
Israel.
The land of Israel. This is when they besieged us, right? And this land, and this whole land shall be desolation. Read.
And an astonishment. And these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years.
70 years, right? So this 70-year period, where are we going into? Because what time ultimately did the Babylonians take over? What year do we do in history? Come on, you know your timeline.
586.
586, right? But like you said, when you're dealing with war isn't something that occurs straight off like a year or so, right? You have to have a climax or a crescendo. This thing started around 605, right? Now, if you do 70 years from 605, what is that going into? This is prophecy. Like I said, you got to understand this. This is how we know that the children of Israel are the true Jews, but are the true people. We don't want to say, we don't want to.
BC does what?
What does BC do?
Count.
It counts up or down? Try again.
So what should you do?
So 70 years from 605 BC will be around what time? Where my mathematicians at?
Come on, put it up in there. Hey, what the hell? You got a phone?
525.
Around 530, right? What happened around 530 BC? The Persian Mede captivity, right? So you see that the Most High God gave us up into the Babylonians, and then he's showing us that we were going to be under Babylonian rule for 70 years, right? And then the Persians were going to come and take over. But let's go back to, let's hold your precept right there.
Hold up right quick. Did you understand that?
I said Persian Mede a long time ago.
Not that. I'm talking about all of what I just broke down. Because there was some heavy stuff right there. Did y'all don't be scared to, Cap, I don't understand. It's okay, man. Because we want to make sure that y'all understand this timeline. I just broke it down perfectly. He's literally pinning it down. If you understand that the Babylonians came into power, let's say 605 BC, and we was in captivity in 70, for 70 years, you minus that from what? 605. Do y'all understand that? That's what we're saying. It ticks, the BC ticks down, AD does what?
Go up.
It ticks up.
Bruise. Like I can say, then you bruise mess around. We ask you the same question. You quote everything wrong. Or did you sit there looking like deer in the headlights?
For real. Ain't writing that damn thing down because I'm watching.
For real.
It ain't pointing brothers out. Hey, peripheral vision.
Matter of fact, let's stay in Jeremiah. I want to read verse 12. 25 and 12.
I got this little book that I've been reading called Between the Testaments from Charles L. Pilfer.
Praise.
Read that first. It goes into what I was touching on.
This is the book Between the Testaments by Charles F. Pfeiffer. Chapter 1. Cyrus and the Rise of an Empire. The beginnings. The Persian Empire came into being as the result of the efforts of one man, Cyrus. Of his background, we know nothing. His father was named Cambyses, and the ancestry of his mother is unknown. Traditions make her the daughter of a Median king. The story was probably invented to make Cyrus appear as a legitimate monarchy of royal Median ancestry. Cyrus first appears in history when in 559 BC at the age of 40.
This is giving secular history,
That's
like
right.
what Ak is touching on, man, right? Go ahead, Ak.
Cyrus first appears in history when in 559 BC at the age of 40. He inherited the small kingdom of Ashan. This territory was tributary to the Median Empire.
Right, so going into what Ak is touching on, it's touching on from the Assyrian to the Babylonian to the what? Persian Mede, right? Go ahead.
To the Median Empire, one of the eastern rivals of Babylon.
Right, read, go ahead.
The Medes and the Babylonians were former allies.
So they formed the allies to do what? Watch this.
In 612 BC, they combined their forces, destroyed Nineveh.
They was destroying Nineveh, which was what?
Who?
Syria.
That's right.
That's right. So going into secular history, the Medes helped the Babylonians to destroy Assyria. Right? This goes into like how this goes into history. That's why when they start hitting these timelines and what Ak is going over, you can pretty much have a basis on how that thing was going. Yeah? Right? Read a little bit more.
It says the capital of the Assyrian Empire. Taxes, the Medes, seem to have taken the lead in the assault on Nineveh. Nabopolassar of Babylon, however, fought the Assyrians alone after the destruction of their capital city.
Right.
Perhaps the Medes were called home by problems that required immediate attention. No,
So-
they were just getting whooped.
They were getting their ass whooped. This got one more little part. Go ahead.
It says Median and Babylonian leaders may have estranged as a result of a conflict of interest.
Uh-huh.
In any event, the Medo-Babylonian alliance was short-lived.
That's what I want out of there. Guess what? The Medes helped Babylonians to take over the Assyrians, but then the Babylonians turned around and whooped the Medes and ran them off. Right? So that's why you go from the Assyrian captivity to the Babylonian captivity to the what? Persian and Mede, because the Persian and Mede got strong enough to do what? Fight against the Babylonian captivity. Brothers, get there, man. Right? These goes into secular history.
I'm going to tell you, brothers that are slow on that, brothers, y'all got the time, put the study in.
Come. That's right. Let's go back to Rick. I'll praise for that, man. That just gives you more clarity of this thing. Let's go to Jeremiah 25 and 12.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 25 and verse 12. And it shall come to pass, when 70 years are accomplished,
When the 70 years are accomplished, read.
I will punish the king of Babylon and that nation, saith the Lord, for their iniquity, and the land of the Chaldeans, and will make it perpetual desolation.
So what happened then? What did the Lord say that he was going to do then?
Make Israel a desolation.
No, what happened after he said them 70 years he was going to do what to Babylon?
Destroy Babylon
With who?
with the Chaldeans.
With what we just read.
Remember,
the Persian.
the Chaldeans are who? The Chaldeans are Babylon.
That's right. So just to show you that, man, that was prophecy within itself that the Lord was going to have us under Babylonian persecution for 70 years. And they, you know, that's one time they seized our land. But let's go back to Ezekiel 38 and 8.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 38 and verse 8. After many days there shall be visited. In the latter years there shall come into the land that is brought back from the sword.
So you see the land was brought back from the sword, right? Because when do we rebuild the temple? Because remember, it was brought back from the sword. Because after we came out of Babylonian persecution, we went into what? Persian Mede, right? So when did you get Ezra, Nehemiah?
No, that was Persian Mede.
That was in the Darius.
But I'm saying this is listen to what I'm reading. Read this again, verse 8.
Verse 8. After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years.
I'm showing you that this is not going into the Babylonian time, but in fact it's going into coming up right now, right? Read on.
In the latter years, thou shalt come into the land.
The land that is what?
That is brought back from the sword.
That is brought back from the sword. That was future, right? Showing that around that time when they were brought back from the sword, right? Just showing you, because the reason why I'm doing this is because it's some people that think that, well, you know, you have a few people that might think that this is it's been fulfilled already. Then you got some people that think that this is going to be fulfilled after the 1,000 year reign with Christ. So we want to show you exactly the timeline and how we're trying to line it up, right? Read that again.
After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, but is brought back out of the nations.
Because when the Babylonians took over, you know, you had many nations dwelling within Israel, man. Let's go back to Isaiah right quick. Let's go to Shalaki. Let's go back to Jeremiah 25 and let's read. Let's go to verse 18.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 25 and verse 18.
Bring it out.
To wit, Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, and the kings thereof, and the princes thereof, to make them a desolation.
To make them a desolation, right? Read.
An astonishment, and hissing, and a curse, as it is this day.
And a curse, man, as it is this day, right? Read on.
Verse 19, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and his servants, and his princes, and all his people.
Read on.
And all the mingled people.
And all the mingled people, read.
And all the kings of the land of Uz. And all the kings of the land of the Philistines.
Read on.
And Ashkelon, and Azah, and Ekron, and the remnant of Ashdod.
And the remnant of Ashdod. Who else? Let's read.
Edom, and Moab, and the remnant of Ammon.
Man, you see all these nations that inhabited our land around this time, man? Read on.
And all the kings of Tyrus,
Uh-huh.
and all the kings of Zidon, and the kings of the isles, which are beyond the sea.
That's it. That's all I want. Let's go back to Ezekiel 38. So it said, against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, but is brought forth out of the nations, and they dwell safely of all of them, right? Of all of them. Now we're getting to today, because like I said, all these surrounding nations that we're talking about, these are allies, Russia, these are nations that we're going into today. But read verse 9.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, and verse 9. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. Thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee.
You see, thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee. Because, like I said, if you look at the map, and you see Israel surrounded by what? You got Persia down the bottom. You got toward westward. You have East Africa, which is going into Ethiopians, right? Then you have China, far right, northeast. This is like a cloud around Israel. This is what it's saying. This is a cloud. Read that again, verse 9.
Verse 9. Thou shalt ascend and come like a cloud. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. Thou and all thy bands.
Thou and all thy bands. So they're covering the land of Israel right now, right? Like I said, I wish we had to be able to show you pictures and things of that nature. But if you look at Persia, which is Iran, right? All these nations surround Israel. It's like a cloud, man. This is prophecy, man.
That's right. Saudi Arabia, all
Saudi
the Arab
Arabia
nations.
That's right. Like you said, the east coast of Africa, the Hamites, right? All these, they all gonna play a part, and it says it. And it said, all thy bands and many people with thee.
That's right.
Read.
Verse 10. Thus said the Lord God.
Because honestly, those are going into Russia allies. Right? These are really going into Russia allies. Read.
It shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought.
Now, they shall think an evil thought. Now, they're going to be warring over there, right? This is going to spark World War III, though. Because the evil thought that they're going to think is, shoot, it's going down. Let's go and turn this nuclear thing up, and let's go and hit America, man. This is the evil thought that they're going to think of, man. They're going to be warring between themselves. You know they're already playing the new game. The evil thought that's going to come upon them, America's going to have to get down eventually, right? This is the evil thought they're going to have on them. Read 9 again. Read 10 again.
Verse 10. Thus said the Lord God, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind.
They're going to have evil thoughts coming to their minds, right? While they're fighting this battle, right? It's going to insinuate World War III. Read.
And thou shalt think an evil thought.
That evil thought is going what? Going at America now, man. Let's turn this thing into nukes, man. Right? Read on.
Verse 11. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages.
The land of unwalled villages. What do you think that is?
Something that's not protected with Israel at the time.
The land of unwalled villages. Read on.
And I will go to them that are at rest.
And what?
And dwell safely.
Where are people dwelling safely, or they think they dwelling safely? America, right? Unwalled villages. This is the land of what? The melting pot. Right? Anybody can go into America. Not saying that they can just get in here freely, but right, they want you to come in right into America, right? This is the land of the melting pot right now, America. Read 10 again. Verse 11 again.
Verse 11. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, and I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely.
Precept. Let's go to Isaiah 47. Because this is exactly what Esau thinks. They think they dwelling safe. They think they can't be touched. This is what America going into, Isaiah 47.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, and verse 1.
Let's jump down this. I think this is it.
Verse 8. 7. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, and verse 7.
Bring it out.
And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever.
Now this is America, right? This is modern. This is Babylon, man. This is Babylon the Great, saying I shall be a lady forever, right? Meaning they should what? They should rule forever. Read.
So that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither did thou remember the latter end of it.
Read on.
Therefore, hear now this, how, Salaki, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwelleth carelessly, that saddest in thy heart,
I am. And that's what America doing. They dwell carelessly, man. Right? They think they got too much pride on them. Right? They think they the top dogs, man. When they don't understand that prophecy is being fulfilled, where it's going to rep up all these other nations to come toward them. Man, read.
That sayest in thine heart, I am. And none else beside.
And none else beside me. Who is the only land? Who is the only nation of people doing that right now? That could be able to say that.
America.
That's right. America. Read.
I shall not sit as a widow. Neither shall I know the loss of children.
Man, hey, I'm gonna tell you, only people got cry like that is Esau, man.
That's right.
Say I will never be a widow. Never know the loss of children. I mean, they'll never lose their power. Right? Read on.
Verse 9. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day.
It said, but it's gonna come to thee in a moment. In one day, read.
The loss of children and widowhood.
But they're going to get it, man. But it's a planned prophecy within this thing, man. It says it's going to come in one day to them, man. They're going to understand widowhood and the loss of children, man. I mean, they're going to lose all that power that they think they got. Read.
They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorcery, and for the great abundance of thine enchantment.
So you see, if you say they'll come upon thee in their perfection,
That's right.
it's perfection because it's what?
Prophecy.
Because it's prophecy. Y'all praise it, right? It's prophecy. Therefore, it's of the Lord's perfection. It's perfection. It says it's going to come upon them in their perfection. That's because it's prophecy, man. Read.
Verse 10. But thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me.
Read.
Thy wisdom and thy knowledge. It hath perverted.
They think they the top knowledge. They think they got everything. Read.
And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know.
So going back to Ezekiel 38 and verse 11, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of the unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest. Right? That's America, man. That's Babylon the Great, man. They feel like they're at rest. They are prideful. They feel like can't nobody touch them, right? Let's get back to that.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, and verse 11. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely. All of them dwelling without walls.
Without what?
Without walls.
Without walls, read.
And having neither bars nor gates.
Now, I've seen camps that said, well, this is going to be after the reign, after the 1,000-year reign. But a key point in it said that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls. In the kingdom, are we going to be without walls? Give me a precept, man. Revelation what? Let's go to it right there. This is why we don't think that it's going to be after the 1,000-year reign that Esau will go in and conjure up device or plan. So let's go at them. We immortal body. Come on, man. We got Christ with us, man.
Who's going to break them without hand, without labor. He's going to break them into pieces, into powder.
And to dust, to not. I don't see this being after the 1,000-year reign. But let's go to Revelation 21. Let's start at verse 12.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 21 and verse 12. And at a wall great and high, and at 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon.
So it said it had a wall great and high. Now remember it said without walls. We know that the kingdom is going to have what? Walls great and high. Right? Read on.
Which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
Uh-huh.
On the east, 3 gates.
So we don't have walls. On the east, 3 gates. Read. Right. Drop down to 14.
Verse 1.
Read on.
On the north, 3 gates.
Uh-huh.
On the south, 3 gates.
Read on.
And on the west, 3 gates.
Read on.
And the wall
and
of
the
the
what?
city. And the wall of the city.
And the what?
And the wall of the city.
And the wall of the city
had 12 foundations in them. The names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb.
So you see, going back to Ezekiel 38, this is in fact showing you that this is going to be Armageddon. This is going to be starting off World War III. You see that? That's how you got to put precepts together, man. Precept upon precept. So when you see in verse 11, they that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, having neither bars nor gates. This is going into America. It's not going into us fighting Esau after 1,000 years, man.
Let me get another precept on those walls. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 56. And we'll start at verse 4. Isaiah 56 and verse 4. Another precept for walls. For thus saith the Lord, unto the eunuchs that keep my Sabbaths, and choose the things that please me, and take hold of my covenant. Who is the covenant for? Israel. Verse 5. Even unto them will I give in mine house and within my walls a place and a name better than of sons and of daughters. I will give them an everlasting name. They shall not be cut off. So this is future prophecy that Isaiah is going over, talking about how we'll be dwelling with safety with an everlasting name in walls in the kingdom.
Big con on that, man. So we see that this, in fact, indeed is going into Babylon the Great or America, man, right? The unwalled villages, right? Dwelling without walls, having neither bar or gate. Let's read verse 12. One more point on that.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 38 and verse 12. To take a spoil and to take a prey.
Read.
To turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited.
Did anybody catch that? We'll read it again. What are we showing? The point that unwalled villages is going into what?
Going to America.
Babylon the Great. Read 12 again.
Verse 12. To take a spoil and to take a prey. To turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited.
Did anybody catch that? Huh?
We'll rebuild again.
Trying to decimate that already inhabited. Going into
Damn, y'all ain't can read it one more time. Man.
Verse 12. To take a spoil and to take a prey. To turn thine hand upon the desolate places.
The desolate places
that are now inhabited.
That are now inhabited.
That's what I said. Talking about going to Jerusalem that's inhabited by the strangers.
What was the desolate place that is now inhabited? I need a precept. We know this. This is an easy precept.
That's the place that's Ezekiel 36.
We're trying to show the correlation that this is America.
Revelation 18 and 4.
Nope. Now, this is the last precept, y'all. This is the last precept. The desolate places that are now inhabited. When was America desolate? Huh? America, when was it desolate?
Second Ezra 13, 40.
Come on. Come on. We're trying to show and prove with precepts that this is in fact going into America when the desolate places are now inhabited.
Right.
Let's go to 2 Corinthians 13, man. Y'all see that now? Y'all understand where we're going?
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13 and verse
40.
40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanasseh, the king of Assyria, led away captive. And he carried them over the waters. And so came they into another land.
Into another land, read.
But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country.
And go forth into a further country
where never mankind dwelt.
Where never mankind dwelt. You see that? Now let's go back to 2nd Ezra. Let's go back to Ezekiel 38 and read verse 12 again.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38 and verse 12. To take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited.
So, Auckland, which was America, was desolate, man. But now it is inhabited, right? This is precept showing that, in fact, this unwalled villages is going into World War III, man. We don't see this being a war after 1,000 years in the kingdom, man. Y'all see that? I know y'all kind of quiet on it, man. All right, we'll definitely touch on it some more, man. Go give me Isaiah 11 and 1. We'll get out of here after this. This showing prophecy that it has to be fulfilled, showing that we have to have understanding of prophecy, man. It's another reason to show you why it won't be in the kingdom, man. We can start at verse 2. We'll read just a few precepts.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 11 and verse 2. And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord.
Jump over real quick, Isaiah 9 and 7. And this is when the kingdom comes.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 9 and verse 7. Of the increase of his government,
which is Christ's government, read.
And peace, there shall be no end.
And what?
No end.
It said the increase of his government and peace. Right? There shall be no end. Read.
And peace, there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it.
To do what to it?
To order it.
To order it. Read.
And establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this.
So we know the kingdom will be ordered, man, well ordered when Christ reigns, man, right? So we don't see no war breaking out when Hamashiach and Hamashiach is in this kingdom, man, ordering it, man, right? Now let's go back to Isaiah 11 and let's read verse.
Let me get a precept real quick.
Okay.
Let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 2. Y'all know the classic. It's the book of Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 1. The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountains of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob. For he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Verse 4. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation.
Read that again.
Nation shall not lift up sword against nation.
Great precept.
Neither shall they learn war any more.
That's a great precept to put with that, man. That's a great precept, right? showing that it won't be no, after the 1,000-year reign, it won't be another war that the heathens conjure up a plan, right? Let's go back to Isaiah 11. We'll finish off with this. Start at 4.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 11 and verse 4.
Bring it out.
But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity.
With truth, read.
For the meek of the earth.
Read on.
And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth.
With the rod of his mouth, read.
And with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked.
Read on.
And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins.
So I don't know what kind of war they're gonna try to conjure up where all our king gotta do is what? Throw that breath out of his mouth, man.
Let me get the precept right quick, guys. Those be getting excited, boy.
I don't get it.
Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and verse 7. Saying the same thing. Where Ezra was pulling this from. The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13 and verse 6. But I beheld, and lo, and he had graven himself a great mountain, and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region of the place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, and girt their spite. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held any sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips as a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a certain of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid.
Do y'all hear that, man? It say nothing will be able to be perceived.
For real.
Who gonna come to try to fight after? And come on, man. It won't work, man. It won't work. All right? It's gonna be complete order in the kingdom, right? This prophecy that we see in Ezekiel 38 is going into what? The climax. That's right. It's going into the climax of World War III, where these nations coming together, man, making America get down with this thing, and ultimately sparking out World War III. Let's finish. I want 11 and 6 and 7. Show you the order in the kingdom, man.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 11 and verse 6. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb.
The wolf go dwell with the lamb, right? We're gonna have them in submission, man. Right? If you are normally a wolf around a lamb, what's gonna happen? That wolf go eat that lamb butt up, right? But in the kingdom, we're gonna have order. It said the wolf go dwell with the lamb, and they're gonna be in order, man. They're gonna be able to conjure up no damn plan, man, and try to attack. Read.
And the leopard shall lie down with the kid.
Same thing. You get a leopard with a damn kid, a baby goat, man, you gonna eat them up. But in the kingdom, it's gonna be order. Read.
And the calf and the young lion and the fatling together.
Read on.
And a little child shall lead them.
And we're gonna be so much in order that we're gonna have a little child leading their butt, man.
That's right.
Come on, man. Little Zion gonna be out there walking. You know he always grab your hand. Walk with it. Come walk with me. We're gonna be walking with them damn lions and tigers and bears and old miles, man.
That's right.
Right? Read on.
And the cow and the bear shall feed.
Uh-huh.
Their young ones shall lie down together.
Nah, they're gonna have a war.
Their young ones shall lie down together.
This is how much order it's gonna be, man. Cows and bears lying down together. Not literally saying they're gonna be lying. Let me make sure. Not literally lying down together. Being in the midst of one another, man. Because if you got a lion and a bear, or a tiger, a bear and a cow in the midst of each other, it's gonna be some bloodshed. In the kingdom, it's gonna be complete order. That's what this is showing you. Read.
And the lion shall eat straw like the ox, and the sucking child shall play on the hole of the ass, cobra, or snake. And the winged child shall put his hand on the cockatrice den. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain.
Boy, that's a say. Read that again.
For they shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain.
Read on.
For the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea.
The heathen gonna have the knowledge of the Lord. They gonna know not to play no game, man.
That's right.
No game, right? No game. This is gonna be complete order in the kingdom. 38, like we see going into war, climaxing up towards World War III, right? Fight, making America fight. I know we had a kind of a long class, brothers and sisters. I thank y'all for tuning in, brothers and sisters online. Pray that y'all got edified in this class today. To get back is prophecy. It's planned, man. We got to get in order with the prophecy planned Israel. We pray brothers and sisters got edified, that they got open their hearts and ears to receive this message. We thank brothers and sisters that ever sent money or help for the GoFundMe or the Cash App. That money is being greatly used for the uplifting of the Most High God's kingdom. We always say keep the laws of the Most High God. So we definitely want to leave you with a law before we get out of this class. Let's go to Deuteronomy 23. I like this law. And 6. Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 6.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23 and verse 6.
Bring it out.
Thou shalt not seek their peace, nor their prosperity all thy days forever.
So we are not seeking a peace or prosperity for any heathen nation, man.
That's right.
Right? We are the top nation. We are the top priority for the Most High God. And that's how we got to think. That's our thought process. That's how we got to be on one accord. We're not looking for any nation to be on top of us. This is going into what? What we got coming up?
All this voting and all
Voting, right? So y'all alley-oops for classes. We got Wicked Halloween coming up, brothers. Alley-oop for class. We got Wicked voting coming up, right? We're not seeking their prosperity all the days, man. Joe Biden, we don't give a damn. We don't care. Camilla, we don't care. If it ain't the Most High God and His Son Yahushua, man, then we don't look for the prosperity of it, man. Right? With that, we thank y'all for tuning in, Israel. Happy Shabbat. Shalom.